Hello and welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me in another of my outdoor on location interviews. Today, as you can see, I'm surrounded by some very interesting people, at least we hope they're going to be interesting, and I'm in the setting, and let me tell you, I'll show you a picture of this remarkable thatched cottage, timber frame cottage, somewhere in Hampshire. Could be West Sussex, but definitely Hampshire. It's very beautiful. I don't know the age of that. It must be 15th century, something like that. We are here to talk, well, a bit about money. And I have to say my guests have been a little bit vague about things. So let me introduce who we have around the table. We have over here Sean.
Hello.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Sean. Suzanne,
Hi.
Marcus, and our main guest is Tony from somewhere in the US.
There you go.
There you go. How are you, Tony? Nice to meet you.
Very good.
Thanks for coming on the show. You want to ask me a question, so we're turning this round. So start off and ask away.
Well, the question is, in your mind, what do you think of money as?
What do I think of money as?
Yeah, what's money?
What is it? Well, I suppose it's a means of purchasing something.
Right.
You're not happy with that?
Well, so if you're gonna, is anything money then?
Is what, sorry?
Is anything money?
I know that notes are promissory, so they're not really the money itself. And in theory, at one point, they were backed up by something precious, like silver or gold or oil or something scarce.
So the notes, you mean like pieces of paper?
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying so these are not money.
Well, the American dollar doesn't seem to be very much money these days.
Well, I've got one of these too. Is that money?
Is that euro? Yeah, I think they represent something, an idea.
What do they represent?
They represent, I guess, perhaps somebody who's worked and their time, their effort, their labor, so you can use that in exchange for something.
Yeah, but a moment ago, you had said they represent a promise, or you were going that way.
Yes, that is because I'm not consistent.
Well, okay, excellent. And that's the issue, right?
Right.
Because if the definition of money isn't so painfully clear,
Yeah.
it's easy for you to have one definition and somebody else has a different definition. It represents energy to that person, it represents something else to somebody else.
Yeah.
That's the crux of the problem today, is that everybody has their own sort of working definition of money.
I suppose that's true, except that we all use it and it seems to work.
Well, we're using pieces of paper.
Yes, but we've accepted that they represent something that we can give to somebody and they'll let us have a product or
Okay,
a service.
so if you're using a piece of plastic,
Yeah.
is the plastic money?
The plastic in and of itself, or the chip on it that accesses some digital ones and zeros on a computer somewhere?
Yeah. See, this
Yeah.
is. You see how complicated this gets?
So what we obviously need is just something like a central bank digital currency, because that would answer everything, would it not?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. All right. So when I ask what is money,
Yeah.
what I'm really trying to get at is money really a form of payment at all? Is it? Could we be completely off base?
Well,
Is that a possibility in your
absolutely.
scheme?
In the last 7 months, my world has turned upside down. So now anything is on the table. And I think the current system that we have is very questionable. And if you're questioning money, I think that's a very interesting thing that we should look into.
Okay, so
and
let's-
you've clearly thought about this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Okay, so let's take another question.
Okay.
If you have to have $1 to buy anything in the United States,
Right.
I mean, from a glass of orange juice to a gallon of gas, if you have to have dollars to buy anything in the United States, what does $1 represent?
Does it represent?
It's not a trick question.
No. I know. I'm thinking on my feet, and our contributors. Maybe we should ask those as well.
Oh well, they
already know the answer.
Yeah, we're putting you on the spot.
Oh,
here.
okay, yeah, all right.
This
fair
is
enough.
about you right now.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't realise this,
I'm
ladies
with
and
you,
gentlemen.
Richard. I know very little.
Thank God for that. I have
Okay.
someone on my side. So presumably it represents a chunk of what that. So you're buying a orange juice. It represents the ability to have it.
Ooh. Well, that's interesting because most people want to say it represents value.
Okay, maybe it. Sorry, I didn't get the script. It represents value.
No, it's not a script. You got to get in touch with your inner 7-year-old
Yes.
and think like a 7-year-old.
Hello.
Yeah, well, not that voice.
No.
Think more like, the emperor has no clothes. You know that parable?
Yes.
Think like, who was the hero in that story?
The little kid who called it out.
Okay, was he a genius?
He was speaking the truth. So he wasn't necessarily a genius, but I think to everybody else, when they realised, oh yes, we've all been duped, he's talking common sense.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. It's
Is
a
that
nice
okay?
expression.
Great.
I like that. But what he's really doing is stating the obvious.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to the question.
Okay.
If you got to have $1 to buy anything from a hammer to a hamburger
Yes.
within the United States,
Right.
what does this represent?
Well, I suppose it represents the means to do it, because if you
You're homing in.
am I getting it? Getting
Yeah,
close?
You're getting close.
Thank goodness for that.
How
Otherwise,
about-
this would be a very long interview.
How about permission?
Yes, I suppose it's a recognised form of.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no, you're getting complicated
Oh,
now.
yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to work it out in my head. I mentioned I've only got one brain cell, so that little brain cell is working very hard. It's giving you permission to buy it then, because it's an
Permission from who?
from presumably the person who's selling you.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
If you got to have this
Yes.
to buy anything,
Yes.
this represents permission from the person who makes this. This is prerequisite to
Right.
buying anything else.
Absolutely. So I see where you're going, because if you came to me and you said, I haven't got any money, but could I have this? That I might say, yes, you can have it. Or I might say, what will you do for me? You don't have to use money.
Oh, see, now remember when we started off, I asked you, what is money?
Right.
Okay, and then we were talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, now if you have to have $1 to buy anything in the United States, this represents permission.
Right. From the government.
Well, in this case, what does it say at the top?
It says United States of America Federal Reserve Note.
Well, the other way around.
Okay, sorry. It says Federal Reserve Note.
Yeah.
The United States. So it's a Federal Reserve, which is a private corporation.
I can tell you've been talking to other people, huh?
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, I can tell. But if you think about this as permission
Yes.
from the Federal Reserve,
Yes. Who gives them the right?
well, this is where people end up describing monetary systems as systems of belief.
Right, yes.
Because if you believe you got to have this to get anything else,
Yeah.
that's a system of belief. Because do you really need their permission to buy something?
You don't need their permission. It's a system that works because everybody's in on it.
Oh. So everybody has to agree?
I suppose they don't have to agree, but they do agree because they haven't thought of any other system. There's no other system in place.
Did you do that intentionally?
No, it's just...
You just gave me a total segue. It just
did
seems
I?
like you planned this out.
No, not at all.
Because I swear, you were
Did I
never
give
beat.
myself a tick?
No, you get a star.
Oh, I get a star.
Put it right.
Fantastic.
You didn't put your name there.
No, I
put a
didn't. I
star
know my
someplace.
name.
Yeah, but we got to keep score.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So one star for you.
Right, I'll just put it out there. 1 star for me. Great.
All right, good. So now, if you, me, everybody simply says we don't need permission to buy things,
Right.
do we need this anymore?
We don't.
Okay, whoa.
But presumably, if I'm the vendor selling orange juice and you come up and say, I would like to have some of that, and I say, well, I'd like something for it. I can't just give it to you because then I'm out of pocket.
Sure. So the real issue that you're getting at now is what would you take as payment if...
So are we talking bartering?
Sure.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But if you think about what bartering is, it's simply trading products and services directly,
Yes.
as opposed to trading without money.
Yes.
Because we started off with me asking you,
Yes.
what is money? And I think it's pretty clear that money cannot be permission slips.
Right. But I suppose it's an IOU.
Oh, well, it does say note.
Yeah.
Well, an IOU is a promissory note.
That's true.
Okay, so now you start realizing the importance of defining our terms,
Right.
because my investigation shows that in 1900, the meaning of the word dollar meant a gold coin.
Yes.
It wasn't that the dollar was backed by gold. The word dollar meant a gold coin.
Right.
And because gold is kind of heavy and bulky, if you put a bunch of it in your pocket and walk down the street, it'll tear a hole in your pocket if you carry enough in there. So people would take their gold coins, deposit in a bank,
Yep.
and the bank would give them a receipt.
Right.
But the receipt is an IOU,
Yes.
which is a note.
Which is a note.
Okay, so back then, when people would deposit their gold in a bank and the bank gave them a note, this represented what?
Well, it represented the gold in the bank.
No.
Oh. Take my star away.
No. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Just think about it. If this is not a dollar,
Yes.
the dollar is the gold
It's just
coin.
a piece of paper with words on it.
Well, but the words are important now.
Okay. It says
'Cause
I
this is
promise to pay.
Ah,
Yes.
which is an IOU.
Which is an IOU. Yes.
Which is why it says note.
Right.
Okay, so then what happened is they founded the Federal Reserve
Yep.
in 1913, and in 1933 they took the gold away, and they left just a piece of paper.
And just didn't they take the gold from everyone? It became an illegal thing to have gold.
Yes, in the U.S.
In the U.S. Yeah.
I don't know how everything works everywhere else.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, but now we got a problem, because now they fundamentally changed the definition of the word.
Right.
Where the dollar used to mean a gold coin, now in the U.S. everybody thinks it's this piece of paper.
Yes.
And then people started thinking, oh, it was once backed by gold. No, it was once the word meant something totally different. You see
Yeah.
the sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is,
So just to jump in there. So in other words, they could just keep printing those because it represents nothing.
well, this is interesting, because it wasn't like they just printed them. You can't actually buy these, so you actually had to borrow them.
Right.
So now they were now printing permission slips and loaning them.
Right.
Well, this is called usury, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the stuff that is the Bible even says no bueno.
Yeah.
So we have here a system based on everyone believing they need permission slips.
Yes.
That's a system of credit.
Yes.
That is the world we live in today.
Okay.
So when we think about a world where you don't rely on this,
Yeah.
we have to think about a system of merit.
Okay.
What is merit? Credit, we can just, for the sake of this conversation, just call it permission.
Yeah.
But what would merit be?
What would merit be?
Now, anybody... You can,
Yeah. What would merit
Well,
be?
we used to have merits and demerits at school, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Now, we're not talking about discipline now.
But merit is something that is worthy, seen as worthy.
Valuable. It's value, isn't it? It's
Uh-huh.
commodities. It's merits.
Well, the economists like to talk about things having intrinsic value. That's merit, right? You want orange juice because it tastes good. It's
Good for you.
Yeah, all of that.
Mm.
So the merit of
Yes.
orange juice is nutrition. food.
Right.
The merit of your van
Yeah.
is transportation.
Right.
The merit of gasoline is the fact that you put it in your in your van, right?
Yes.
So when you trade merit directly,
Okay.
that's called You said it earlier.
Oh, God.
Oh, you're on the spot again.
Quick,
This
rewind.
this is another gold star opportunity.
Oh,
so
golly, no, wait,
you get to take your time.
Oh, it's like, here we are. We put the clock sound effect
Yeah.
on. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ding. What did I say before? I said a few nonsense things.
No, you didn't.
Did I not?
No, you're making
For the
perfect
sake
sense.
of the audience not going through the pains and hoops, what did I say?
Barter.
Barter. No.
I was going to say, ask the question
Oh,
again.
sorry.
What's the exchange between two people? So you answer the
Trading,
question.
barter.
Hear it.
Yes, barter. Is that
Yeah.
yes.
So there's
I can feel his pain.
Yes.
yeah, I know, and that's why you're
I've
here.
been exactly where you are. It's painful to watch.
So when you need help,
Yes.
just look past me.
Yes, I will. Yes. Well, with my
whisper it,
wonky
but
eye, I often do look past
But
people.
don't worry, because I'll always ask you if that's your final answer.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right.
Yes. Are you doing
So-
Clarkson now? Oh, no, you won't know that. Who wants to
yeah.
be a millionaire? Is that your final answer?
That's my reference,
Yes.
actually.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, fantastic.
So when you talk about barter,
Yes.
you're talking about trading things of merit.
Right.
So a system of merit
Yes.
is where you barter.
So how would you represent that so that it's more convenient for people to buy some orange juice or a car or a house or whatever it is if they are using merit?
Okay. Let's go back to what this was.
Because I'm ready to put a gold star on yours
I-
now.
I'm thinking you can get a half star for that last one.
Oh, okay.
So you got a star and a half right now.
Oh, excellent.
That's
Keep,
right.
keep the score, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen.
Okay, so when people were trading gold coins,
Mm.
and that became inconvenient,
Because of weight.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the above, they put it in a bank,
Yeah.
and then the bank gave a receipt.
Yeah.
Okay, so the very same technique can be used to trade anything.
So do you mean I could put my van in a bank and then get some merits from it?
No,
As a receipt.
well, that's a little convoluted. Let's start simpler.
Okay.
Let's say it's Friday, you get paid in dollars or euros or pounds, as the
Pounds,
case may
shillings
be.
and pence would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps not shillings and pence these days, although I much prefer the old imperial system. But anyway,
Yeah.
sterling, I suppose.
What if instead of taking those tokens
Yes.
and depositing them in a commercial bank
Yes.
where you're subject to inflation,
Yes.
what if instead you went to your local petrol station and you bought gasoline? And you got a receipt not for the pounds, but for the gasoline.
Right.
So now you have a receipt for X amount of gallons of gasoline.
Yeah.
Well, that receipt would be the same for gasoline as these were for gold.
Okay.
So
So
you-
I've probably got in my wallet, apart from a whole load of notes which I've just got out the bank, a receipt for buying, here we go, some diesel, which is worth £75.
Okay, there you go. So now we've advanced beyond paper receipts today,
Right.
right?
Well, that's what they gave me.
Sure.
We
And
still
by, the,
have
and
them
by
here.
the end of the year, that will be faded out anyway, because it's cheap and nasty paper and cheap printing. But anyway,
Okay, but imagine now, I mean, if you had your phone
so
and your receipt came to you as data.
yes,
So now you could have an account of gasoline and on your phone have the receipts, if you will, of what you have on account at the gas station.
yes,
So if you wanted to go buy something, you could send a message to the gas station to transfer this amount of gasoline from my account to the pub's account because I just bought a pint.
but I would still have the gasoline in your case and diesel in mine in the van.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is you can store your value
Right.
in the form of the petrol. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's petrol, gasoline.
Diesel, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this would be if Richard had paid for the gasoline or petrol in English, but left it at the station in the station tank. That's the slight difference, right?
Yes.
So he's bought some gasoline,
Oh, I
but it's being
see.
stored by the petrol station as a
Right.
bank for
Because the minute I would
petrol.
drive away, if I'd put it in my tank, it's depleting.
No, no, no. I'm trying
But-
to say, what if you went and bought 10,000 pounds? It sounds so weird of petrol.
Right.
You didn't put that in your tank,
No.
and you wouldn't want to go buy a truck to store it in.
No.
You would leave it with the gas station.
Oh, okay. And as long as they don't sell it anywhere.
No, they're going to sell it all day long.
Oh,
Right, but
Right.
they're holding.
but I've got a receipt for it.
They owe you the gasoline. You
Yes.
hold on account,
Okay, got
which
it.
is, they would give you an IOU,
Yes.
but not for gold,
No.
but for the petrol.
Yes.
So this is how you can use the very same technique that was used for trading gold and silver coins
Very clever.
to trade anything.
So the system of exchange is a data on your phone or a receipt, but that's kind of immaterial because it's the item that you've bought the lot of in the petrol station or a big pile of coconuts or whatever it is.
Whatever
Has
it
that
is.
got to have value?
Well, it did. That's why you bought it.
Yeah. So you couldn't buy perishable things
Well, absolutely. Why not?
because they might perish.
Yeah, but you're not storing it.
No.
You don't. You go to the supermarket and buy eggs every time you want it.
Yeah.
They store it. But they don't store the same egg for 10 years. They're constantly replenishing it, right?
Yes, one would hope.
Yeah. But you're buying fresh eggs.
Yes.
They're always obligated to give you fresh eggs. But the point I'm trying to call your attention to,
Yes.
and you were homing in on it
Yeah.
very nicely.
Yes.
I'm gonna get you get the other half star now. Yeah. Go ahead and write that down.
Yeah. Can I ring Mum?
Yeah. No, that's a help call.
Oh, is that a help call?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just going to ask somebody to look at the camera to see if there's a message there in case after 30 minutes it says we've stopped recording because we don't understand a word that's going on.
Oh,
No. I'm just
you
asking
have
the
AI
camera.
on your camera?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know where that came from? We're not getting reported to somebody.
Oh, the 77th somebody or other, better not say, I've probably tuned in and thinking this is a fantastic idea.
Good. Well, so now
Yes.
what I'm trying to call your attention to is instead of trading tokens of credit,
Yes.
we trade titles
Right.
of
Okay.
ownership.
Yes. Is that like bonds?
No.
No.
No, a bond is
No.
no. This is more like well, your receipt,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
That receipt is title to the gasoline that's in your tank.
What would happen if the gas station, petrol station, goes out of business
Ah, okay.
and they no longer, for whatever reason, it's wrapped up and all of that is taken?
Did you just mention a bond?
Yeah.
Really? And nobody planted that. You came up with that on your own.
Funnily enough,
It's amazing. I swear, we must be on the same wavelength. Now I understand why you guys talk about vibes and energy and stuff.
yeah,
Because
or Vobes and energy. But
I
anyway,
see what you did there.
yeah, you get the vibes from Vobes. Anyway, I just get that in.
no, you don't get credit for that.
All right, fair
No,
enough. I've
no
got it.
bueno.
I'm struggling here, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. I'm
Credit,
struggling.
Get some merit.
Yeah,
You-
do I get some merit for that?
Or a demerit, depending on
Yeah,
So,
depending on your background.
Just before you
survey
progress,
says.
has it got to be a solid thing? Has it got to be a real thing? Could it be jokes? Could it be material?
Are we
Could it
talking
be
about merit? Or are we
yeah,
talking
the
about...
merit, like that you've got a receipt for. If I had 700 jokes, which my audience knows I have nowhere near that amount, less
Well-
than 10. But if I had something more ethereal, would that work?
Okay, so let's say, for example, hours of someone's labor.
Right.
Okay, you could prepay. If you ever hired an attorney,
No, luckily.
well, you got to
no,
give them a retainer, right?
Yes.
Well, you're prepaying.
Yes. Okay.
So there's an example of something intangible if labor is intangible.
Yes.
But the essential thing is bartering,
Yes. Okay.
which is to say trading merit directly. is done by exchanging titles.
So you're not calling this money at all.
Ah, excellent call. That's right.
Right.
We are not talking about money.
So if you have a legal system that says, oh, you can't have another type of money, you can say, but this isn't money.
Correct. Oh yeah, we've just completely end run around the.
Well, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. And next week, at the same time, another convoluted conversation.
That's right. This is where it gets sensitive, isn't
Right.
it?
No.
Because the fact of the matter is, if you want a better world, you ain't gonna do it by the rules
Right.
that they set out.
Yes, I totally agree.
And the number one thing that is in place today is this system of belief, where people believe that they need this, and we're told that this is money.
Yes.
But in fact, what's easily proved is that money is a method of measuring value, not a form of payment.
Right.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Fantastic.
I love the question, though.
No, it's good. You answered the question.
Okay, so if you're going to trade widgets for gadgets, these
Yep.
are
Yep.
not real things. These are,
Yeah.
okay. You have to figure out in what ratio do they equate, right? So if you're going to buy gasoline and you're going to pay for it with dollars, you're easily able to know, okay, X amount of dollars equals that much gasoline. But if you're going to pay for the gasoline with orange juice,
Yes.
how much orange juice is going to equal?
So who's setting the price?
Well, whenever you agree to buy something,
You're setting the
you're
between
se-
the two of you.
you're setting the price.
Yes.
Okay, so money is an algorithm. It's the way you equate the worth of two things, and it's not mysterious.
No.
So I'm not going to.
So is this a bit like when I used to do corporate videos? A client would come to me and they would ask me, how much are you going to charge, say, to film some people around a lovely garden table in the garden in the
Yeah.
middle of Hampshire somewhere. And I might say to them, I'd find out a little bit about the company. And if they were a big company with tons of money, I'd set my price a bit higher because they could afford it.
That's called what the market can bear.
And then if they were a charity, depending on the charity and whether I thought they were worth doing, I might reduce the price.
Yeah.
So could you, when you go and you buy your gasoline and you buy it, you're bartering the value at the same time? Because who sets the price?
Okay, so when you go up to the gas station and you take the pump out, if you're just pumping without going in and talking to the manager, hey, I don't like the price on the pump. Give it to me for something less. Well, that would be a negotiation. You could always do that. But more often than not, people just go to another gas station where they charge less.
Right.
So even though you don't feel like you're negotiating when you go buy petrol, the fact is when you choose that gas station over that one,
Yeah.
that's the basic level of negotiation.
Yes.
So when you're bartering, all that really means is you're trading value for value, as opposed to value for permission.
Right.
How many permission slips for that gallon of gas? This is the system of belief that can be escaped when you have the ability to know how much orange juice equals a gallon of gasoline. Yes. Now, what's that algorithm? This one, I said I wasn't going to put you on the spot, but I just put you on the spot.
Oh, you just put me on the spot.
I don't expect you to get this, so
Oh, okay.
you can
In that
flounder
case,
and make every...
Brilliant.
Buddy.
I imagine that the algorithm is movable
Movable.
Keep going.
and is a unit of surprise.
Surprise!
Surprised you? I have no
Yeah.
idea. I have no idea, and I'm just floundering.
Good.
Which is what you want.
Comic relief, everybody loves it.
Oh, thank
and
God
you're
for
good.
that. Yeah,
You're
thank you
good
very
at the
much.
comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it turns out that the algorithm goes all the way back to Aristotle. You remember him?
Yeah.
You
well,
do?
When I say I remember him, I don't actually met him or sort of remember him from that. But yes, of course, I remember him.
You've heard of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He invented the light bulb, didn't he? Oh, no, that was somebody else.
Yeah.
Aristotle. Sorry. Go back to
Oh, no,
Aristotle.
because he was enlightened. That's why you
That's
got that.
what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that Enlightenment was much later, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now you're confusing me.
Sorry.
Okay, so Aristotle.
Don't do that. It upsets the microphones. Yeah, Aristotle. Goes back to Aristotle.
Yeah, so Aristotle is like credited being like the founder of logic, the rules of reason, right? So if you go take a philosophy class, they'll teach you that that Aristotle came up with a syllogism.
What the hell is a syllogism?
You want
It's
to
a
take a crack
yeah.
at it?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so if you go into university and philosophy 101, they'll tell you a syllogism by example. They'll say, Socrates is a man. Sentence 1.
Right.
All men are mortal. Sentence 2.
Hence
Therefore,
yeah.
Socrates is mortal.
Yeah.
Okay. That structure is called a syllogism.
Ah, right. Okay.
Okay. In mathematics, that very same algorithm is called the transitive law. So if you're in math class, they teach you if A equals B and B equals C, C must equal A.
But we know that can't necessarily be true in all cases.
No, it is true by
it?
logical imperative.
Oh, is it? If so,
If A equals B
yeah.
and B equals C, C must equal A.
One moment.
Help him out there.
It's very good.
I think he's right.
Yeah, I think he's right. I'm not going to argue with him. I'm just
No, that's why
waiting
you're
for the
here.
catch. You know? It's like leading me
No
down
one's
this
going to
garden.
catch
yeah.
you.
You're seeing it.
Yeah,
right?
I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it turns out in physics, the very same algorithm is called the 0th law of thermodynamics. And in economics, it's money.
Okay. So where does that?
So remember, I said money is an algorithm.
Yes.
It's a method by which you equate the worth of things.
Yes.
So if we say 1 pint of orange juice is €5 and 1 gallon of gasoline is €10, how much orange juice equals how much gasoline? See? It becomes very obvious now.
Good.
Wait, it's not obvious. You're not getting it.
Well, it's because you use the word euros. You're using then a monetary
Oh,
thing.
excellent.
Because that's what's confusing me. Because we're talking about bartering,
Excellent.
but then you're using the same old terms.
Yes, excellent.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's great.
Another bloody
Yeah, you
star.
get
Look
another
at that.
bloody
God.
star.
Well done.
All right, so now we have to introduce a new term.
Okay.
Because if money is not a form of payment, remember we normally describe currency as a form of money,
Yes.
right? So if money is a form of payment and it's these pieces of paper, well, in the United States we use dollars, and in Europe they use euros, and here we use pounds.
Yeah.
So these are called currencies in colloquial terms.
Yes.
But if money is not, if this isn't money, then what do we do with that term currency? That just got left over, right?
Yes.
So now we understand that currency, the rational meaning of the word currency is a unit of measure.
Yes.
So now if A equals B and B equals C, we know how much C and A equate. Well, B is the currency. It's simply being used as a unit of measure. Anybody? Go ahead.
Yeah, can I see if I've understood what you've said and Richard said with the gasoline and orange juice example? So we start with Richard going to the petrol station using the current currency credit system, and now we say, okay, Richard's going to buy 100 gallons of petrol, and he's got, well, actually buys 10 times 10 gallons of petrol, and he has 10 different receipts, whether it's paper or digital. Now Richard says he would like some orange juice from the orange juice supplier over here, the Merit of Orange Juice, and he goes to that supplier and he says, actually, do you mind, I don't know how much, would you like some petrol? Maybe I can give you one of my titles of merit for petrol at this petrol station, and you give me 50 gallons of orange juice. Are we going in the sort of direction of where you're going with the
Yeah, you're
titles of merit? Is that about right?
Yes.
And then you no longer need the euros or pounds if you keep on swapping titles of merit of gasoline here, orange juice here. Is that, have I got that about right?
Yeah. Let me rephrase it just to make it clearer. But you're going the right direction.
Oh, sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen, and the dreadful sound effects. There we go.
Okay. So the first thing that I would call attention to is these are arbitrary denominations. $1, 50 euro. Okay. When you go buy petrol, you're not going to get 50 of these. There's no reason to get 50 receipts. You're going to get a receipt that says 50 gallons of gasoline, right? It's data. And you're going to hold that data on your phone. This is the app that I was working on. The idea being that you're holding some number, some quantity of gas on account, just like you're holding some number of dollars on account in a bank or euros in a bank, right? So when you have the receipt on your phone, it's one receipt. It's not a bunch of these little increments. And when you want to go and pay for orange juice, say at the supermarket, you're simply saying, rather than me giving you these pieces of paper, I'm going to give you gasoline as payment to the supermarket that you're buying the orange juice from.
Yes.
So
But as a piece of data.
Right, because the way I really haven't gotten into the idea of how software comes into this.
Right.
But the idea is having an app on your phone whereby you can tell the gas station where you have your petrol on account, transfer this amount of petrol from my account to the supermarket's account.
So is this a bit just like the stock exchange that you're buying, it's
Like
effectively,
commodities.
yeah, commodities. You're buying and trading stuff that you've bought, but it's not big gallons of oil necessarily. It can be
Well, you are
small.
trading the oil.
Yes.
I mean, that is the form of payment.
Yes.
But you're codifying it or you're solidifying it with documentation. That's what a receipt is.
Yes.
A receipt is title to property.
Right.
So the software that I'm building will allow you to trade titles to property rather than tokens of credit.
Right. Okay.
So you're able to use that system to trade anything. You don't need these central pieces of paper. You don't need these permission slips.
Yes.
But you were calling attention to, well, why am I using the word dollar? Why am I using the word euro? I thought we were getting rid of that. Well, I'm saying you can use what you understand the worth of these permission slips to be as a unit of measure.
Yes. Okay.
So when I bought the gasoline, I said, okay, here's $10,000, and he's going to give me a receipt for so many gallons of gasoline, and I hold that on account. And then when I go to the supermarket and I want to buy orange juice, they're going to give me the price in dollars. Hey, a gallon of orange juice is $10, whatever.
Right.
And you say, well, do you take gasoline? And they say, well, sure. We have trucks and we have employees that whatever. So then what you would do is you would say, okay, this amount of the orange juice that was $10 equals this much in gasoline, and then I would simply use that equation. Remember, if A equals B, and blah, blah, right? And then you just tell the gas station, transfer this many gallons of gasoline from my account to their account.
And the software just does that automatically for you, so you don't actually have to interact with all the millions of
It's
different...
just a text message.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is how you lower the cost of a transaction to zero. Right? There's no middleman like in a cryptocurrency. There's no central party that's going to validate and populate the blockchain. And
What if the orange juice merchant says, I don't want gasoline?
okay, well, he's going to have some things that he accepts as payment. Like maybe he wants, silver.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, fine. I'll pay you in silver. I got silver on account somewhere else.
So does that mean the individual's got to have numerous different things to sell or to barter?
You're saying got to. I'm saying that's a good thing. If your savings can be in the forms that are valuable to you, it's actually a store of value.
Okay.
But if you don't value what you hold as savings,
How would it, now let's put us in the situation that you're an employee and you work for whatever the company is, and they're going to give you, I'm just trying to pick my words here, ruminate? That's what cows do.
Yes.
Yeah, ruminate. Thank you very much.
You might be ruminating afterwards. Depends on how it goes.
yeah,
Command of the English language is one of those things I struggle
We
with.
all struggle.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah, so so your employer wants to offer you some terms that you will find acceptable. How, as an individual being paid for your labour for wherever it is, how do they pay you? Do they pay you in gasoline or in bits and bobs? Or do you get a little menu and say, well, actually, do you know what? I'd like to be paid this week in Coca-Cola. Oh, there's a trade name for you. In a fizzy drink or a load of organic apples.
In Coca-Cola? What?
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 What? What?
You're confusing me now.
No, but your employer...
I got no stars for you to take, so
No,
there's
no.
no benefit for confusing me.
It's just I didn't need to. They don't need the advertising, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're a big corporation.
Okay. Every transaction is between two parties.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not three, not community. So when you go to work for somebody, you are deciding at the time what you're going to get paid in.
And some companies, I would suggest, would give you the terms that's what they're going to pay you in, whether you
That's
like
fine.
it or not.
Well, then don't work for them if you don't like it.
Okay, good answer.
Good. All right. But let's say you realize, hey, we're in 2023 and the only thing they're going to pay me in is pounds. Okay, take the pounds, and as soon as you get it, you can run to the commercial bank and store the pounds, or you can go to a merchant bank and buy whatever that merchant sells and
Right.
hold that on account.
Oh, okay. So this would be a parallel system.
Well, it's sure. We can do that.
I mean, until this old system is redundant.
Well, yes, but the thing that I would like to emphasize is whenever I hear people talking about fighting the banks or in any way being confrontational, there's no need. You just withdraw your support.
Yes.
So when you have an alternate system that's better,
No, I'm absolutely with you there, and I think a lot of people would love to see that.
and that's why we're doing
Yes.
this little interview here.
Yes.
Is because I'm looking for like minds, collaborators, people who want to be part of a solution and not be part of a confrontation.
I agree. So how do you envisage moving this forward?
Well, I'm deploying in a discreet way in a corner of the world, and at such a point as I'm ready to be more public, it'll be open source. At least that's my intent, right? There's certain people who come on board if they have to make their money back. They're see even I can do the money thing. It's tricky.
It is.
But the real point I'm making is you invest in things because you want to get a profit. Okay? If you want to make a better world, the solution has to make people a profit. It has to be better to do the new than to stay with the old. So profit's not a bad word.
No.
Profit is the stuff of savings.
So your gasoline that you've bought from the petrol station, that's going up in value. Is
Well,
it
okay.
to make a profit?
Okay, when you say it goes, no, oh, okay. So what I'm saying is I'm developing software,
Yes.
and at some point there will be people who invest resources into the development of the software.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And those people want a return on their investment.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was simply referring to the software product,
Oh,
not
okay.
to what you would use that software to trade.
Right. No, I got slightly confused there when you said everybody wants a profit, and I was assuming that the trading system, the bartering system, was also about making a profit. I.e., you buy something at £75 or $10,000, and if you don't use it, it may have gone up in value, and so your $10,000 may be $11,000.
And okay, and you're bringing up a really good point, and that is, not every purchase you make is speculative. We're getting a little off topic, but it's relevant. So
Okay.
it's really important to realize that when I buy gasoline, I'm not speculating. I know what gasoline's going to do for me.
Yes.
You buy 10 liters of gasoline, it will propel your van as far next year as it does this year. But if you buy the same value and hold it in dollars or euros, that's not true. They're
Right.
going to inflate it away. But the thing I'm trying to say is it's important to be conscientious of when you're speculating as to when you're just saving. These are not the same thing. Now, your savings can go up in value, but when you bought it, the intent wasn't to profit. It was, I'm storing value because I use gasoline. I want to make sure I can get to work for the next year
Yeah.
without worrying about having the funds for buying gasoline.
So you can buy your gasoline in a large quantity, which they store at the petrol station or whatever the commodity is, but you can still use some of it, and of course
Or all of it.
or all of it. But if you're trading that merit, and you've used, say, half of it in that year, and you think actually, so the petrol station is aware of how much you've used, or whomever you've bought it from, which is all operated through the software, so
Yeah.
nobody actually has to sort of try and put the abacus in the right place and go,
Exactly.
all of this. So that the value, if you're using it up, the value is obviously depleting that you've got left.
Right.
Like in a bank account, in that when you spend money, they take it off the
Yeah.
thing.
But let's just say you bought it for $1 a liter because you had this great opportunity. You bought a whole bunch, but $1 a liter. But you bought, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to $5 or something. Well, hell, there's nothing to stop you from not just selling it and making a profit or half of it. This is commodity trading. So all I'm trying to say is the system that I'm developing really is just software that's on your phone, for example. And what you use it to trade, whether you're speculating when you make a purchase or whether you're just buying something to hold as a store value, the software, that's not my thing.
Right.
It's no different than you buy Microsoft Word. You know Microsoft Word.
I do. I don't buy it.
You don't buy it.
There's a gentleman who invented some viruses and thought not only should we keep it inside software, but we could also try it in real life. And I sort of went off him a bit. But anyway, let's say a different thing. I think there's LibreOffice or
Well,
something.
no, what I was trying to say, email. You do email?
Yes.
Okay. Do the people who write the email software care who you email
No, of course not.
or what you email them about?
No.
That's my relationship.
Yes, no, I get that. So you're developing the software, and what people do with it is entirely up to them, of course,
Yeah.
and you're not putting the restrictions on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the reason why it would almost certainly have to be open source is so that everybody can see
Yes,
there's no malware embedded in it.
yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
no,
what I'm trying to envisage, though, is how to get from where we are, which is this shared belief of the value of money, but actually most people who have a big bank balance don't actually have the money. It's just a promise. How do we get from that to this other system that you're talking about? What's going to be involved? Because it's a shift, isn't it, of what people believe.
Okay, so I started working on this a long time ago. And very early on, I realized this is not a technological challenge. It's a philosophical challenge. That is to say, people need to think different.
Mm.
They have to go, wait a second. I gotta have dollars to buy anything in the United States. They're telling me it represents value. That's a ruse. It represents permission.
Yes.
And the reason why inflation is possible is they can divide permission up into any number of permission slips.
Yes.
So they can, it's like measuring with a rubber ruler.
Mm.
So once you realize how silly this is, now you start putting some effort into saying, okay, what would be better?
Yeah. And I think you've demonstrated in the audience sitting at home, sort of watching me squirm when you've been asking me these questions, will clearly see that this is a mind shift.
That's right.
And each of them, I mean, some people may have just gone, do you know what, I can't cope with this, I don't understand it. And many people will go, I'm going to watch to the end because, you know, there's going to be a golden chalice and we're going to find the winning thing.
Okay, you know the expression, knowledge will set you free?
Yes.
Isn't this an example?
Well, yeah, I guess it will. And
Well, because
this
if you suddenly learn that you don't need permission slips to buy things.
Yes. But you need more than one person to. You need loads of
No,
people.
I don't. Barter is between two people.
Right. But that's what I mean. I mean, you need a network of people who understand.
No.
No, you
No.
don't need those, obviously. I got that bit wrong. You need one other person.
Well,
You don't need anybody.
You don't even need my software to barter.
No, I know. But
You can do this with a piece of paper like and a pad like you.
Yes, and people do obviously barter in some way.
Oh, in the poorest parts of this world, I don't have to explain to them how to barter.
Exactly.
All the software is going to do is make it more convenient and more precise.
Yes.
That's it. It's not rocket science.
So I suppose the question, I mean, the audience then who are on board and have gone through this journey with us will probably be thinking, when can we have the software? Can we get going with it?
Yeah.
Because, you know, as soon as you suggest a new idea, people want it, don't they?
Yeah, genuinely.
And they don't want to forget, because there'll be another video on YouTube which will be, you know, quite frightening or whatever it is that they'll, and then suddenly this conversation's gone and all of what goodness you've just said disappears.
Well-
so when do we get this software to try it out?
Well,
Now I'm putting you on the,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to make any.
soonish?
Well, I'm deploying beta this month actually, but I don't want to call attention to it
Right.
before I've aligned myself with adequate cover, political and otherwise.
Mm.
So I would say, if somebody wants to participate, wants to help, then they should comment the video,
Right, yeah.
like it, let themselves be known,
Okay.
and I have help.
Yes.
That's why I came. Is there's a ample number of people like yourself who are looking for something better.
So in other words, once there is a system that we can just demonstrate it working, people will look at that and think, hey, that really is really interesting. I want to have a go. And slowly incrementally, one by one, people may well switch to this concept idea and realize, as you've so said, that the old system no longer has the merit that it once they thought it had, and this new system of merit is actually
The
full
real
of,
McCoy.
Yeah, the real McCoy.
Yeah. And again, what I'm most interested in is 1,000 examples, 1,000 experiments. And that's why I'm here talking to you.
So, will you come back in some time in the future and with something to offer my viewers and say, here it is, let's try it?
Yeah, sure.
Brilliant.
Of course. Brilliant.
Yeah. No, it'll be very, and there will be people who will want to do this. And
But the
everybody
important
wants to
thing-
get out of this control system.
Yeah, but the important thing is for people, some number of people, to dive in and to assimilate this new understanding, and that's why we're working on a book,
Right.
right? So that the earliest thing that would be available to anybody who's wanting to know more would be
From the book.
From
Yeah.
the book. Right.
And it's not a big complicated book. It's,
No. So it's getting people in the mindset to begin with.
exactly
Right. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Is
Yeah.
I'm trying to disseminate the theory before the implementation comes along.
And because it's open source, it doesn't then matter if other people come up with very similar ones.
Oh, listen, I'm not
it's-
here getting people signing NDAs and trying to keep a
No, no.
secret. This isn't about.
Because once people have changed their mindset and they think, actually, do you know what, this bartering system, I don't know why we didn't do it right from the beginning. And of course, we were doing it right from the beginning.
Well, and anybody who is watching this that codes could put together what it is that I'm saying and write their own.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to keep everything in
No.
me, right?
But you're planting the seed of a new concept for us to exchange goods that does not
Involve a middleman.
involve permission and the middleman,
Uh-huh.
and indeed the governments.
Okay, is that where we have to bug out after you say that?
That's where I think the tanks are now coming, and we'll have to go. Well, it sounds brilliant. It sounds
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, it does. It sounds brilliant. It sounds also very simple in one respect, which I think is very good because people want simple, and once they've jumped over that hurdle of understanding what money isn't,
Ah,
and
there, see?
and then realizing, well, what do we really want and what we're really doing, then I always think that people are a bit like water, that they'll take the line of least resistance, and once you show them something that's just sensible and works, they'll just go and do it.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of what you're
Yeah.
doing. And once it's there, people will just use it.
I am in search of like minds properly motivated.
Well, I'm sure all those like minds properly motivated are absolutely watching this show and nobody else's. So thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much for
Very good.
explaining
Thank you for
it.
your time.
And to Marcus, Suzanne and Sean, thank you very much for your contributions and to inviting me down here in Hampshire for
And if the book is difficult to read,
And Sue, are you
Yeah.
writing the book?
Yes.
So-
helping to decipher all of this.
All of
into
this
something a
and
bit
putting
more
it into
concise.
plain English so that saps like me
Yeah, and myself.
can get it
yeah.
into my yeah, brilliant. But this is, I think, so important that we have these conversations now because the old system has kept us down very narrow roads, and we believe that's the only thing.
Absolutely.
And you're helping to expand that consciousness so that people realise there is many other options, and this one sounds brilliant,
brilliant.
as I said before.
Every time I hear that, I think of that Guinness commercial. It makes me
Oh, there you go.
Can I ask also, when is the book anticipated?
Well, I
Because
don't know. What
I
do you
want to
think?
read it. I want to learn more about
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No, it's more about, when do we imagine it's going to be?
Well, we can start going straight away. I'm part of the creative team. My husband's over there, and so it's as soon as we start going on it.
Wow.
So it could be.
We just met
six
recently.
six months, something like that.
I think
I mean, I
that's
don't know how long
reasonable.
books take. 6 months to a year,
What do you think?
I think something like this.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Do in 3 months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, once you've got it, come back. We'll talk about it. We'll promote it. We'll get some people looking and reading.
Absolutely.
And yeah, absolutely.
Something real to look forward to.
Yeah.
I see it as giving the power back to the people, where they can start actually trading like we used to trade.
Yeah.
And I think people are looking for that solution.
I think
So
they very much
this is-
are. Tony, thank you so much. It's
Thank
been
you.
very interesting. I think it's the one interview that I was trying to give, but I was doing more of the squirming. So I appreciate that. It's nice to be on the other side.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
right.
It exercises the brain a bit, or in my case, a lot. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this discussion. If you'd like to see more of this very relaxed kind of style of things, then do let me know. Do put in the comments what you think about the idea, and if you've got suggestions of your own of how you might do this, we'd also be fascinated to learn all of that. But from these wonderful people here in the countryside, thank you so much. Till
Thank
next
you.
time, goodbye.